If you wouldn't mind just telling me and the fine folks a little bit about yourself and what you do in your day-to-day.
Yeah, so I work for a company called Blue Steps Consulting. We're basically accredited coaches for all things careers, leaders, managers, and teams. And really what we do is private coaching, like one-to-one coaching. And we do kind of business coaching where it's more organizational structure, looking at, little training programs that they can run internally and deploy to help solve some of the pain points they're experiencing through their people.
How were you working before you found Shift?
Yeah, so just classic, loads of different tabs, signing in, signing out and stuff like that drive me nuts. Because we also do a lot of web development, which means I got to clear my cache all the time, which means I got to re-sign in all the time. So I guess in many ways, Shift has just kind of helped me consolidated something onto one screen, and so I can use all the other screens to pop out the other projects that we're looking at. So obviously pandemic and coaching, right? Before that, it was always, face-to-face, and the pandemic brought everything virtual. Shift just helped me keep things tidy whilst I went through the coaching process online. So everything's all bundled up in a nice area, whether it's the workspaces or just using the simple tabs on the left-hand side. And yeah, it just helps me click through things really quickly, from Miro, where it's a collaborating tool, which you guys have integrated into Shift, which is really good, to, quickly reviewing their LinkedIn profile whilst they're talking. Because again, a lot of things are personal. There's a lot of things that come up, and just being able to jump quickly without having to log in, open a new tab, find the correct window or whatever it might be that you had opened up before. It just allows me to just move quickly and effortlessly, which means I'm allowed to get more stuff done within the 60-minute session, because that's what they're paying for. Yeah, so I just got all my emails, again, love all the hotkeys, being able to go between the two. Like, these are things that just help me quite quickly. 1Password for me, I've got a lot of client credentials and stuff I have to store quite safely for many different reasons. So being able to integrate with 1Password and have it there, ensuring it times out, closes, that's really good for me. Asana, we do a lot of, project development with lots of different clients for lots of different things. LinkedIn, obviously career navigation and direct messaging, sales prospecting, etc. for me. Miro is the design tool that I use, which will ask me to log in, but it's just because there's client confidential information on there. And that's the design tool we use. Slack, everyone knows Slack. So talking to different people. And, again, I always check here to see what kind of new applications you guys have got. The workspaces are quite good when I actually use them for very specific client projects. So if I'm running like a really big workshop and there's a lot of complicated moving parts, and I've got other coaches that need, their web page open for this, or they've got a video and it's got this link, and it's loads of stuff. So instead of having like hundreds of windows open where normally they'd be stacked up here, it helps me just kind of create a new workspace, for example, and then I've got everything in this like little workspace that I can just run through, and it's always custom. So I don't do workspaces like, client onboarding or anything like that. I find that just didn't really work for me. But I did find just using these kind of like little workspaces, it would be like project 3, client something, project something, and I'd open up that workspace and be able to run through all the different pieces of content material online. And it keeps it all consolidated in one place, which is nice. I actually recommended this to a friend because he's got a very similar problem where he's got loads of moving digital parts and he's always having to log into this, log into that. It just drives him nuts. And I saw his desktop and it was just a mess, like the whole thing. I was like, you should really try this. This is what it is, et cetera, et cetera. And he couldn't fathom paying that much money for something that he kind of already does. Right. And the way I pitched to him, I said, it's not something that you ever think you need. It's just afterwards you realize, how did I actually function without it? So it's kind of like the iPhone. You never really wanted an iPhone when it first came out, but now that you got one, it's kind of like, how did I actually, whatever your brand is, Samsung, iPhone, etc. It's one of those things post loss that you realize, oh wow, I really want it back. I live right near the beach in Sydney, in a place called Fairlight, and anyone in Australia who lives next to the beach loves the water. So for me, it's just ocean swims, surfing, anything, snorkeling, diving, anything water oriented.